Hey everybody, this is Fragger here, and I am continuing the N plus awesomeness, kinda, that this is with episodes 5 through 9 of N plus. Now, things start off fairly easy with a bunch of gold that we can collect, our kind of jackpot-ish area. But this whole area here is not too difficult. There's a few small things here and there, like a little patience, but the name gives you the hint that you gotta be a little patient in this area here, or else those things will get ya. This area here, choose your own misadventure. This one is really here just to serve to show you that, you know, take your time, figure out what you're going to do. The level does show you this nice little overview here in the very beginning, so you're not under the gun immediately. So, you know what, sometimes you got to pick your levels or you're going to get your gold, and this one is not one to farm in. So, yeah, because much more important in later levels. This level here really does show you a little bit more about what your momentum does and how much fall damage sucks. But yeah, I take it a little too cautiously here. I've had a few deaths and I'm like, I kind of want to move on from this fairly easy level. You need to stop being fancy and just beat it. Now here, Timing 101. This one is fairly important because it'll teach you about the fact that there are times when they're dicks. And there's a very specific way to jump through these kinds of sections, and once you learn it, it's fairly easy. Break that pattern and you're kind of hosed. Now, I didn't show here is if you do a very long jump. Actually, I do think I may show it here. No. Make a very long jump and you make it to the fourth platform. You actually make it in enough time to where you don't have to make these small jumps. But unfortunately, I didn't get good shots of it. I kept dying. So, you know, there's that. So this jump here, ridiculously difficult. We're done. This one here, this one's a fairly interesting little level. It doesn't really teach you anything other than the fact that, like some of the levels, there's a path that you should take, and when you don't take it, you're making things more difficult for yourself. Now there, I kind of stopped myself on the bouncy pads, and this time I just did a little bit of a leisurely little leap there, and, you know, if you hit a little harder, you can actually hit that back wall there, slide down in that corridor, and as long as you don't leap into the electrical droids there, you're good. This level, okay, what the fuck? All it is just a random assortment of gold and mines in the sky that you can completely avoid and go to the end. If you try to be a very greedy person, get all the gold in this level, it's easy to do, but these bouncy pads tend to be kind of a dick when you're coming at them from the side, so you're better off not doing it there. And a nice, leisurely, fun little end to an otherwise easy chapter. There we go, episode 6 complete. Now 7 introduces these little corners here, which are very nice to have because you can pretty much hit them from any angle. The slanted ones, you kind of have to kick off the wall when you're coming off of them so you don't die, but you can keep a lot of momentum. If you hit a corner like that, the rounded corner, you can hit it at full speed and you're still okay, which is very, very nice. And don't make jumps like these. Now, these slanted platforms here are kind of a dick because the way that the game works with you kicking off stuff is certain angles make it very difficult to kick off of, and they're not really meant for climbing, they're meant for platforming back and forth. That kind of section sort of alludes to that, but that idea is going to come back in force at the end of the next video with the last level. This one's pretty easy once you realize just jump over the bouncy pad and it propels you in the right direction that you want to be going in. So, you know, pretty easy stuff. This one is just difficult if you don't kind of figure out how you're supposed to do these kind of things. This one really teaches you about air control and slanted surfaces. Air control is incredibly important in this game, just like learning the momentum is. Learning how the ninja jumps and how he maneuvers through the air is incredibly important so that you're not constantly dying. And the exam on this will be very, very difficult, and I've already alluded to that. It's the end of the next video. It's fresh in my mind. I just recently replayed it, and oof. But this is one where it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea about air control and slanted surfaces, so that you need to be able to keep your momentum so that you can slide up them to a certain extent and wall kick up them while you sell momentum. You lose it very slightly while it's happening, but not so much so that you can't complete a level. So I just rambled through the 7th episode and on to the 8th, where bouncy pads. This episode has quite a few bouncy pads in them, so it does this little thing here so you can kind of learn how to jump onto them and what order you should go in. And this is, of course, a nice jackpot-y level where you can get a bunch of gold if you need it. Ah, a neural net processor. For some reason, this one caused me a bunch of trouble. So, you're really not supposed to do this the way that I'm doing it. You should be wall sliding on the left side or the right side to get the button, but let's have a montage of deaths of me being stupid. I was really close on that one. I'm great at video games. Now, if you want to do it the way that I'm going, you really need to wait until the bottom one is at a certain position, and you can judge it based on the first one, because pretty much when the top one takes a corner, the second one's about to take another corner right after it, and I'm really close to that little droid there. So as long as you keep that in mind, it's very easy to slide down and jump back up. Now, the game kind of gives you a nice little break here at the very end with these bouncy pads. And something else I didn't mention with those rounded corners is that if you run into them, you have a lot of momentum going into the wall, so you're able to go really quickly onto things. Didn't really demonstrate it there, and I'm not going to be able to for a little while. This one's pretty deceptively simple. It's just, you know, take your time, do some wall kicks, keep your momentum up, and you're done. This one here. Deep Gray Sea. This one is a really good place to really hone in your missile dodging skills, because missiles are less dangerous when they're active. Most of the time that when the missile is active and you're dodging it, it's super easy to dodge them. It's when they're being fired from the turrets that they're a pain in the ass. And we'll see that again in later episodes. This one caused me another issues too, but this one's really down to me being... I feel like jumping into mines today, as opposed to doing decent wall jumps. And making really terrible jumps like that. So let's finish this off correctly. That was really close. This one here is kind of just a traditional semi-maze. You know, we get a few of those, and it's nothing special. Something I didn't mention in the last video, and it was actually asked in the thread about the perspective of the game. If you click in either the left or the right stick, the camera will actually zoom out so you can actually see the whole playing field, which is only useful in a certain few levels. But for the most part, you kind of want to keep things centered on you. It allows you to actually keep a better eye on what's around you, as opposed to worrying about other things happening in said level. There's one level towards the very end of the game, in episode 49, where having it zoomed all the way out is a damn near necessity for beating the level. We're almost done with this episode, because it's all really simple, because you gotta run really fast. And we're done. That definitely belongs in the 9th episode. Now you can kind of see what I'm talking about with these rounded corners and momentum. I'm keeping all my momentum, and right here, I don't kick off the wall. I just slide straight down and able to stay alive. It's a good thing they kind of really enforce that home there. Now, our first non-really teachy level. This is all about this sniper turret, and, you know, we've learned about them. We know what their rules are. Just gotta learn how to avoid them. But that's gonna do it for this video and the 9th episode. We're gonna dig into the next 5, which is, of course, 10 through 14, and we're gonna hit the game's first stopping block, where the game really goes, do you really want to continue? Yes, we do. See you guys.